Hey everybody, it's your girl Purple, the jump seat jet setter. All right, y'all, it's your girl Purple. Excuse if you hear little voices in my background because I have children. But before I get into my journey to the jump seat, I figure I should probably start with my journey to training. If you follow me on Instagram, you could kind of see this timeline of like applications I put in and when I got responses and all of those things. So, I'm going to get into that. My very first application was to Delta, actually, December 18th, 2019. I received an email to do a video March 15th, 2020, right? So my flight attendant journey started December 18th, 2019. That's the first time I put in my very first application. Pause. Now, it's a piece of lace that's laying up right here. I'm gonna need y'all not to pay that any mind. I know it can be a little distracting. For some reason, it just won't sit down. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So that was the very first application I put in. I also put an application in for Frontier to be Miami based. That was December 20th, 2019. Right? So I put in Frontier December 19th, and then I put in Delta December 19th. I put in Frontier December 20th. So I was on a roll. I was putting in applications for any and everybody that was hiring flight attendants, right? Then, my second step for Delta came in on December 20th, which is the video interview, right? So I did that, and then I never heard anything else from Delta. But I did hear back from Frontier. So they sent me an assessment to do on the 21st of December, 2019. Then on, let's see, January 10th, 2020, I received so it says, thank you for your interest in the flight attendant position. This is from a regional that flies for Americans. So their name is, if you guys heard from them, but it said, thank you for your interest in flight attendant position, location in Philadelphia. So I would have been based at home. We appreciate your interest. Be my opportunity. Please know that we are fortunate to receive high volume of applications, candidates, various qualifications. We will contact you if we want to move forward, right? So my caption says, another application submitted in January 10th because I hadn't heard back from Delta after my video interview or from Frontier after my assessment. So it says, during this time, I also applied for other positions within a few different airlines. I figured if I couldn't come in as a flight attendant, maybe I could come in a different position and then move into the flight attendant position. So February 10th, 2020, I received an interview to do a face-to-face with in. They were going to pay and fly me out. My interview was scheduled for March 10th, I think. Don't give me lying, right? So I'm going to give you guys a little background on that. March 10th, I was flown out from Philadelphia to do my face-to-face interview. I was hired on the spot, and I was supposed to start my training May 2020. Then this email came. I have just been informed that we are postponing our flight attendant classes for the foreseeable future due to the recent events that are affecting the airline industry. As soon as I am able to place you in a class, I will do so. I will keep you updated as best as I can and get you into class as soon as possible. So, I received that March 16th, 2020. That was literally 4 days before I was due to go to flight attendant training. So, I was like, oh, so much for that. A few months passed. And yeah, I stayed in contact with the recruiter, and um, she said that she didn't think they would start training again until March or April of 2021. So I was like, oh, that's deep. Um, so during that process, I actually was hired in January of 2021 as a ramp agent. And I really was only doing that until like flight attendant training opened back up. But when I took that position, I was also told that you have to stay in a position for 90 days before you could transfer into another position. So that was a dilemma for me. This lace is really bothering me. I'm sorry, y'all. Do I take the ramp position and stay in that position for 90 days, even though flight attendant training is probably about to open up? That's what I decided to do. So I took the ramp position. I hated it. No, I'm lying. It wasn't that bad. So, but May of 2021, I received an invitation to training for another regional airline. So I was supposed to start training for a pretty known regional airline. And I'm going to get into what's regional and what's mainline, but I was supposed to start that June 14th, 2021, and they had a tattoo policy, which is my next video where I'll show you guys how I covered my tattoo. They had a tattoo policy. I let them know and was super honest about my tattoos and told them that I can effectively cover them. Nobody will ever know that I have tattoos in certain places while I'm on duty. And they still was like, no. So they rescinded my application for training 4 days before I was due to go to training. So that was that. And then the airline that I work for now. So after they rescinded my training, I was like, okay. I was hired and invited to training in 2020. That didn't work out. Then I was hired and my invitation was resent this year. That didn't work out. I kind of like gave up, but something told me not to, that it could still work out. So I sent a couple of more applications in, and then received my CJO for the airline that I'm currently still in the training process for now. So I did graduate training, but I haven't started flying yet because there's on-the-job training, which is an IOE that I have to complete. But I'm actually in the room that I did my video interview in. I'm at my aunt's house. I came here because it was really quiet. There's no kids here most of the time. So this is where I recorded my video interview for the airline that I just graduated training for. Let's get into my passport. So my current airline, you have to have your passport in hand before getting a training date. I originally applied for my passport back when I was supposed to go to training in 2020. I realized this year that my birthday was incorrect. So I sent it off the beginning of June this year to get corrected. I paid to get it expedited there. I had to get another picture taken because of the length of time. And there was an expedited fee that they actually owe me because I wasn't supposed to have to pay. So I sent that off. They contacted me and said that the picture that I sent wasn't approved. So I had to send them another picture before they could send me the correct passport. So I did that. That happened, I think the 16th of June is when they contacted me about the picture. The 29th or the 30th of June, I received my passport and my birthday was still wrong. All they did was change my picture. Now, and I wanted to get all of my information into my current airline by July 1st. So I called the passport agency. I think there was like 3 different calls where I was on hold for more than 2 hours. And they claimed they couldn't do anything for me. So then I contacted my Congress office. Miss Felicia, shout out to Miss Felicia. So I sent Miss Felicia an edible arrangement for the wonderful help that she did. So I called them on the 30th and told them what was going on. They told me to submit an inquiry online and they would get back to me either the same day or the following day. So I did that. The next day I contacted them and I'm like, hey, this is super important. I need it for a job. Da 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 da. She's like, okay, I'm working on it now. I'm going to contact the passport agency and I'll get back to you. I said, okay, fine. I also contacted the passport agency to see if I can get through to them. You know, 2 heads is better than 1. So I got through to them. They kept telling me that all they could do was have me send it back again for them to fix it. And I'm like, but I did that. And I paid like over $100 in total so far to do so. So I'm not doing it again. Miss Felicia, while I was on the line with the passport agency, called me and said that she spoke to the supervisor at the passport agency and she said she didn't have any appointments either. I might have brought out the waterworks and was like, this is so important. She was like, all right, I'm going to really try to help you. So probably like an hour later, Miss Felicia called me with the passport agency supervisor on the line. And she asked me a couple of questions. And there's actually a passport agency office relatively close to me where I live. It's about 15 minutes away. And this was probably at noon. And she was like, if you can get here before 3, I can fix it for you today. I said, all right, cool. So I went down there. I literally hopped in the lift as soon as I got off the phone, went down there, and they fixed my passport. I think I got there at 12:30, and they fixed it by like 2 in the afternoon. So I sent that out, and I received my training date probably within like an hour or 2. So one of the things that a lot of people ask is timelines for my specific airline is all that I can really tell you. And everybody's timeline is different. So just because it took me a week or something just because it took me a week to, get my CJO and get my packet with all my information, submit my background check, do my drug test, that doesn't mean that's going to be your timeline. So that's just clear that out. Everybody's timeline is different, but I received my training date within about an hour after sending my passport, and then it was off from there. I got a packet probably like 14 days before training started, and it was all of the stuff that like our attire that we have to wear during training. COVID restrictions is really big with my airline during training. What else? The information that you have to study for the entrance exam was in that packet. It's a bunch of information. You get a lot of information. So that was my journey to training. My next video is going to be how I cover my tattoos. So right now I have henna done. And henna is something that I used to get like on a regular basis before I was invited to training. But of course, because we can't have any visible tattoos, whether it be permanent or temporary, I can no longer get henna. I'm home for a while. Now that I've completed training, I'm now waiting for my base assignment and my schedule for my IOE, which is my on-the-job training. It's called Initial Operating Experience. And most of the time that takes about 3 weeks, give or take. My henna only lasts for 2. So as soon as I got home, like literally the next day, I got my henna done. Shout out to my henna girl. Her name is Henna by Mai. I'm going to put her Instagram somewhere in the video if you guys are interested and located in Philly and want to get your henna done. So yeah, this will be gone by the time I go back to do my IOE. I am going to do my video to show how I cover up my tattoos once this fades away, which will be in about a week. So next week, I'll drop the video on how I cover my tattoos. All right, y'all. Bye.